Let's implement processor now, that is the credit card verification service. For that, let's go to start.spring.io and we create our project. Let's choose 2.4.10 and com D to D, developer to developer. Artifact ID is credit card and credit card verification. Credit card verification. Now we add our dependencies, Spring Web and Lombok. The rest of the dependencies we shall add directly in the pom.xml, and now we generated a zip file will be downloaded, unzip it and rename it credit card verification. Copy it into our workspace and open it in IntelliJ. Open project. Let's adjust the screen a bit. It should be visible now. Let's go to the preference and set up the import, just to ensure that it should import on the fly whatever is needed, and then go to the file project structure and set the JDK 11. Open the pom.xml and we add our dependency. So it is the same dependency what we have added during the supplier implementation or apply credit card implementation. So we can take it from there. Let's copy all the dependencies, and now we need to add a dependency management also because we are using Spring Cloud. And in the properties sections, we add those properties, version number. So that's it from the pom.xml. It should be fine. This is for JPA. This is, since we are using MySQL, this dependency for MySQL. This is the Spring Cloud Starter Stream Rabbit for Spring Cloud Stream, and since we are using Rabbit, it is Rabbit. If we use Kafka, maybe we can use Kafka here instead of Rabbit. And this is actuator. These are the Spring Fox Swagger dependencies we have added. Apache Commons languages there, and that's it, more or less the dependencies that we need. Now we build it. Yes, let's run it, and build is successful, and we can focus on developing the code now. Clean up this one. One more thing, go to resource and Let's remove these two things. It is not needed, and rename the application.properties to application.yml. You can use application.properties also, but we prefer to use application.yml. Add few dependencies here. Server.port, it's 005, and add our application name. Credit card verification service, or verify credit card. Let's keep the name as verify credit card application service. Application name verify credit card application service. Before that, let's start writing our code, and new package event. Here we need to create the event. So one event should be same as new credit card event, because this is what we are consuming. Another event will be verify credit card event or credit card approve event, whatever it is, and that is the event that we are going to publish it. So first one will be the new credit card event. This is exactly the same event that we published from the supplier application, that is credit card application. We copy few annotations and copy this one from our supplier or apply credit card application, and create this application detail also, the payload, in the same package, and copy it from apply credit card application, that is from our supplier, because this is the event which is published by the credit card application or our supplier, and the same event will be consumed by credit card verification or the processor. So this event and payload will remain same in both the services. Now we create the new event. Now we create the new event, verify credit card event. This is the event that our processor or verify credit card will publish, and it will be consumed by the generate credit card service. Let's add few annotations, and we copy the new credit card event and change. Let's change those things accordingly based on the verify credit card event. Approve credit card event type, it is approved credit card, should be our event type, and we need to change the payload. We need to add a new payload here. Let's create it, credit card, say verification status. Let's make it credit card verification status, and credit card verification status. Create this class now within the same package. It should contain all the information from what we are receiving from credit card application or supplier. Addition of this, it should contain the approved status. So we create another enum. verification status, and it should be approved and rejected. And define the property here also. Verification status, give it the name as status. Let's give the name as status here, and verification status, and that's it. We need to, let's add few annotations, this getter, setter and builder. These are all Lombok annotations, so we no need to write getter, setter and builder explicitly. This annotation will take care, or basically the Lombok will take care of all these things. So our event that we need to publish is ready now. Now create a new package for gateway, or basically the publisher, or which will listen the message from the supplier, that is credit card application, and process it, and after that publish it for the downstream application. That is, it will receive the new credit card event, do the process and publish the verified credit card event. So we create this processor here. It's a configuration, all argument constructor, and let's write SLF4J for logging purpose. Now here we define a service and declare a service, say credit card service or credit card verification service. We declare credit card verification service. Create this service in the service package. Add those annotations. There is service, all argument constructor, SLF4J. And now we get back and implement it. Now this should be a function. Let's write it, public function, and it should take the new credit card event and publish the verified credit card event. So let's do this one, new credit card event and verify credit card event. It will publish. So it is consume the new credit card event and publish the verified credit card event, or verified credit card event. This is the name we have given. Now any method name, verify credit card application. It should produce a return new credit card event, and let's write our logic here. Call it, we shall implement the actual logic in the service. So let's write this one and create a new method for us, verify credit card application, and pass the new credit card event as a parameter. For the time being, we return null to avoid the compilation error. Create the new method This method should return verify credit card event. Okay, this is the event that we need to publish for the downstream application or generate credit card application. Oops, return. Return. Yes, and here we declare this field. So verify credit card event. Now we write some logger. Publishing credit card application. Verification status, publishing credit card. Let's do message, meaningful message that. Now let's write a log that is publishing credit card application verification status. We mention how many records we are publishing. So this verify credit card event or credit card status, the size. So these many records we are going to publish. Format a bit, and now let's check our payload. If it is empty, then we will do a null return, and otherwise we shall return the event. This is the event that this function or our processor will publish into the message queue. So that's it from the processor side. This should be fine. Now let's focus on the service to write the actual business logic there. Let's define a repository, publish credit card verification repo. This is credit card verification repo, and let's create this one within the repository project. Repository package. Dot repo. Let's create it. It should be an interface, and extend the JPA repository. It should be we need to create our entity now, and so let's keep the entity name as credit card verification, and ID type is long, and at the rate repository it should be. Within the package entity. Add the annotations no argument, getter and setter, and the table entity at the rate entity to mark it as an entity, and give the table name. It will contain the properties, whatever is there in the credit card. Along with this, it will contain an additional property, status. So we copied the other properties directly from whatever we define in the credit card entity and supplier, and this is one new property we have added. So this will be the status, and it will be either approved or rejected based on the annual income. Now we complete our service coding. First, we get all the payload from the new credit card event. And look to the credit card applications, whatever we have received from our supplier or what we consumed from our supplier, and we need to convert it into the entity, that is now we look through the credit card applications, that is the payload that we received from our supplier service, and convert it into the payload specific to the credit card verification service or our processor. Let's copy the properties using bnutil. Our source is the credit applications, that is the payload of our supplier, and our destination will be the credit card verification status, that is the payload for our processor, which we are going to publish. Since the property names are same in both this class, so and their type, so this will be copied automatically. And the new property what we have added status, we need to set it explicitly, and before that we need to apply our logic. So here we say that get annual income. If it is less than 4,000, we shall reject the application. Now, let's make it another way. If it is greater than 4,000, then we shall approve the application. This verification status approved, else we reject it. Just copy paste it here and we change it from approved to reject. Good. Now that's it. Let's return the credit card verification status, our new payload for processor, and add the terminal operation collect and collect it into a list. And here we declare a variable for that. So status, credit card verification status list. Yeah, that's it. Now we need to do few things. We get our new payload, but this payload we need to also save into our database. So for that we need to convert our payload into entity, and let's do it now. Now let's save credit card verification status, pass this list, create this method, and here in this we create our event also. So let's do it. Find credit card event equal to, then let's say verify credit card event dot builder, and we build it. We set our payload here. And let's return it. Now let's look through this credit card verification status list and convert it into our entity to save it in the database. So we create a new credit card verification. This is our entity, and then we copy all the properties using beanutil.copy properties. So our target is our credit card verification status, that is our new payload, and we convert it into the entities. Only thing is that here status is a string and here it's an enum, so status will not be copied directly. For that, so let's copy the status explicitly. Okay, set status, and we take it from the enum status dot name. Yeah, that's it. Now we return the credit card verification, that is the entity, collect it in a list, add a terminal operation and collect it into a list. Let's collect the list into a variable. Just add a log. Saving credit card application status. And now we call the repository to save all the credit card application status, that is our entity, into the database. So it should be credit card verifications complete list we are passing here, and it will save all the credit card verification detail status into the database. So here we are taking the new credit card event and convert it this payload into credit card verification status, the payload for the processor service, and we just check the annual income, and based on that we set the application status approved and rejected, and then we convert our processor service payload into the corresponding entity and save the entity into our database. Let's save after publishing, we save it. Now we shall add few properties into our application.yml. So first of all, for data source, we need to add the URL, password, and username. And we change it to CC. Our schema is CC verification. Username is root. Password is also root. Followed by we add the JPA. So generate DDL and show SQL. Generate we make it true. So for JPA we use the generate DDL as true. So it will automatically generate our tables when we start the application, and show SQL we set it false. Now we add the properties for Spring Cloud Stream. So cloud function definition. Now let's get back and we copy the processor's function name, and we need to define it bean. This is a common mistake most of the time we make. It should be bean. Now let's copy the method name, and it should be the function definition's name here in the application.yml. Now we add binding. It is stream bindings. It should be stream function. Stream function. Then definition is a child for function. Stream will not be there. Binding will come directly under the same level of function. And here we need to do two things. One, what is the input queue for this particular method, that is verify credit card application? So we define it. We define this name -in -0. So this is the we are telling that the input queue for this particular method, or this particular method, it will read from which message queue, and it should be the same message queue where our supplier or credit card application used to publish the message. So what is the output queue for credit card application will be the input queue for the verify credit card application. Now we define a group. It should be the same group we are using, credit card. These are just logically grouping these queues so that we came to know that these are all same features. So this is the same group name. You can use any group name, but it's just for logical grouping we are using. And now we define this, the output queue. So this is the queue credit application from where our processor will receive the new credit card event. And this will be our output queue, where the processor will publish the verify credit card event. So let's keep the same destination. And give our queue name. We can give it credit card, say verification. Again, group is same. So that's it. Now we build our application. Let's run the clean install command, and we are skipping this test. Just to remind you, we are not writing any JUnit here, but it is always recommended, and we follow the test-driven development always. We shall create a separate video session for test-driven development. We are ignoring it now because our focus is completely on Spring Cloud Stream. So let's delete all our tables. Let's drop it and start with a clean one. No data is there. Open our RabbitMQ and let's clean those exchanges. Delete the exchange that was created earlier when we run our supplier. Now you see we two exchange credit card application. This credit card application and credit card verification will be created. Let's start our supplier or credit card application. In case you are not using Maven report, you can use just MV and clean install. And let's refresh on this. And now we start our supplier again or the credit card application service. Let's start credit card application service. It is started. Let's check that tables are created or not. It should be created. Yes, tables are there, though there will not be any data at this point. And you see the exchange credit card application is created. Now we start our verification service or the processor. And our processor is started. Let's check. Here we'll find a new exchange now, this credit card verification. And now, since credit card application has a consumer now, so our one queue will be created now. Credit card application, credit card. For credit card verification exchange is created, and since we are consuming now, credit card verification is consuming the event, so credit card application queue also created here. Let's refresh and see the tables again. It should be created. Okay, there should not be any data at this point. Now, let's go to our Swagger for the supplier service, and it should be localhost 8004. So let's localhost 8004 Swagger UI index.html. Let's open this one and publish or create a new application. Address Bengaluru and annual income. Let's put a first name and a last name. And now we execute it. So you see this, we are getting a new reference number and it is atomic. So we new credit card event is new credit card application is published. Saving the status. Let's execute it again. Change the name, say John, and some name we give and execute it. Now see, it is again created and application has been saved into the database, and it is also published. Let's check into the database now. So 2 records we have published, and the same 2 records should be there in the credit card verification also with status, with the updated status. So let's check this one. Reference ID is the unique identification number or the correlation ID that we can use to identify a unique message across multiple services. And now let's reduce is to 4000 to get a rejected status, and we publish it. Now we publish, and let's go here. The new record has been published, and check it here. The status is rejected. So if we look into this and all the queues are created, there is no, all the message in this queue are consumed, no failure. So our processor is working fine and we are able to publish the message from our supplier. Our processor is consuming this message, and again it is publishing the message into the verify event queue. So, and all the data are saved into the database. So with this, our processor has been implemented successfully, and next we shall implement our consumer. So please like, share and subscribe, and we shall meet into the next session where we shall develop our consumer. Thank you.